So like we're here today, it's Mental Health Week next week in Australia, and I suppose we kind of met you guys several months ago now, and we're here today is that PlantMiner is the largest construction marketplace in Australia. We as an organisation touch thousands and thousands of tradies in the subcontractor and supplier space up to heads of procurement and CFOs of huge corporates. Like we have a huge touch on a lot of the industry in the construction space, and kind of I suppose we're very passionate here about mental health. We have a large workforce here who we've had employees go through mental health issues who we've helped. I personally have had a mate commit suicide, which is extremely difficult, and I'm very kind of passionate about it. And I suppose we're very, very keen to partner with you guys and help out any way we can. And one of those ways is kind of sitting here today and hopefully educating our subcontractor and supplier base and our kind of client base on mental health and how we can kind of start that conversation and help out. So I'm just going to kind of, before moving on, kind of I was doing some research which was pretty bloody hard hitting yesterday and this morning, kind of jotting down some statistics just in Australia around mental health and also around males in mental health and then around the construction industry and mental health. So 20% of Australians aged 16 to 85 at some stage in their year, in this year, next year, will go through a mental health episode, whether that be depression, anxiety, substance abuse, etc., etc. 20%, like that is a scary stat. And then out of that, almost half of Australians ever, 45% of Australians will go through a mental health episode once in their lives, which is pretty crazy. And then like getting down to the younger males, which the construction industry is absolutely full of, 21.1% of 18 to 24-year-olds will meet a criteria of mental health some stage in their life. Anxiety, 14%, depression, 16%, substance abuse disorders, 5%, and obviously suicide is a small percentage of that. But that was like seriously scary statistics for me. And then the scariest one here, which is why we're obviously here today and why you've set up your for-profit business and non-for-profit, is out of all those stats I've talked about, 54% of all those people with a mental health issue will not access any treatment, like at all, which, like I think I saw a podcast of yours or a blog, like if you break your arm, you go to the doctor, right?
Yeah.
If you smack your head, you go to the doctor for concussion. Like mental health, it affects 50% of Australians throughout their life, and 50% of them don't go to a doctor or don't have a conversation. Like it's just this craziness to me of kind of how we've let that happen, I suppose, which is...
Well, Trusler, I think if someone's got a bone hanging out of their arm, they kind of know where to go.
Yeah.
You know, it's quite obvious they know where to go.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't actually know how much they may or may not be struggling psychologically. And so to that degree, they don't necessarily know where to turn and at what point to go and seek help.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one of the biggest issues that we've found in the industry and in Australia. And I mean, we always harp on about help-seeking behaviour among blokes, or the lack thereof, help-seeking behaviour.
Mm-hmm.
We're not too great at reaching out and looking for that
Shocking.
help when it gets to that point. So we want to be able to make it as easy as possible, and I think the best thing that we can do to be able to enable that help-seeking behaviour to improve is to really drive a cultural shift in the way we perceive mental health. And particularly for blokes, I mean, the conversation, the tone around mental health has been very serious for so long, and although it is a serious topic and a serious cause, unfortunately blokes don't really resonate too well with that serious tone. So we're trying to splash a bit of colour in there, take a bit more of a light-hearted approach, kind of bring down the barriers to people being able to talk about it and address it, and then actually seeking help. I think one of the biggest things we also sort of harp on about a lot is vulnerability, and you know, if we can have sort of more people leading by example and sort of showing a bit more of a vulnerable side to themselves, well, we can also make it a bit easier for guys that are struggling to open up a bit. So.